Welcome to Friday Mornings with Carol and Jillian. It's so nice to see you again. We have a lovely topic to present to you this morning. We'll just start off kind of with our week and what Carol and I have been up to. And so Carol, what were you doing this week?
Well, this last week I got to go to Colorado Springs and visit my niece Tracy and her family. And that was wonderful. And we have always dreamed and talked about spending a day baking and cooking. And as you know, I have the Cooking with Carol blog and the once a month dinner that I'm working on. And in the course of that, and reading cookbooks and blogs and recipes, I came across a quote that I think is interesting in the realm of cooking, but I think it really applies to our life as well. And this is from Dominic Ansel, The Secret Recipes, a really interesting book about pastries, but also about creativity and breaking boundaries. And might be something you might want to look into. So his quote is,
breaking boundaries.
Yes.
So what does that mean exactly?
He was a classically trained French pastry chef.
Okay.
And he went beyond the boundaries, developed the cronut, which is a variety of croissant and donut, and also just developed new things, new desserts that were beyond what the classically trained chef would do. He also applied those ideas to how we could use them in our life. So it's a little bit more than just a cookbook. So,
well, anybody with the name Dominic
would have something
breaking the rules.
Yes.
Okay.
So at any rate, this is a quote that I'd like you to think about in your life, not just in cooking. When the timing is right, a simple thing can be transformative. It can nourish not only the senses, but also the soul.
Very good. And I think a good word is simple and timing in that quote.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It can be transformative. So just the smallest thing in life can turn your whole life around.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
and in our world where we are very visually stimulated by our computers, by our iPads, by our phones, and also we spend a lot of time with our eyes and ears, but not much with our senses and appreciating the scents in our home, in our life, in our community. So one of the things that I would like to share with you is this wonderful store called Penzeys.
Now, is that a chain, or is that just unique?
Chain. It's a chain, and you can also order online.
Okay.
And I love beautiful herbs and scents and so on. That's always been a real pleasure of mine. When I went into the store and you opened a little carafe that would have tarragon, French tarragon, which has a sort of anise scent to it that you use in béarnaise sauce and chicken and potatoes.
Now that reminds me more of my mother's black licorice.
Yes.
She loved black licorice.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a scent memory.
Absolutely. And lavender can be used with lamb. Tracy made a beautiful cake, and we used this as a decoration on the cake, which added a slight aromatic flavor.
Now,
frosting.
What I'm not understanding about what you say about a decoration,
right?
I mean, do you sprinkle this on, or does it add color? Because in my mind, lavender. You know what I mean?
There is a slight taste to the lavender, but it's not overpowering. These herbs are really fresh. This just came, I just opened this jar, and that's the thing that you really notice is the fresh scent. And then I think a lot of people will recognize vanilla as having a lot of wonderful scent memories.
Pure extract. This is not the cheap
stuff. This is pure, wonderful vanilla.
Yeah.
At any rate, wonderful scents. And what that brought me to was talking about scent memory and how important that is to take time. Take the time to smell the coffee that you brew in the morning, to walk out in the wet leaves today. And it involves something that's kind of difficult for us. In order to do that, you have to stop for a minute. You have to stop and quote unquote smell the roses. Stop and smell the wet leaves, smell the coffee. And I think that that's part of our journey and why we're here talking about opening up and also taking time for yourself to do some of these things. So you were going to talk about the scent safari and also your favorite scent memory?
My favorite scent memory comes back from childhood, and it's kind of a joke at work because there's a store in Sioux Falls called Poppy's Popcorn. And I couldn't figure out why every day I would crave a popcorn ball, a marshmallow popcorn ball. And in fact, I mean, it's just goofy. So anyway, I would drive there, and finally Carol has kind of brought it up where I'm supposed to be becoming one with myself again and finding all these fun memories. And I figured out why I love that place so much. And it's because my mom, when I was younger, would make as a treat at night before bedtime on certain occasions, not every night, marshmallow popcorn with one real stick of butter. You know what I mean? And we'd eat that whole pan. So it's really special. In fact, on the holidays, Carol has been there.
Yes, and it is wonderful.
Divine.
It is a wonderful memory that I would request when I go to their home as well.
So what I started to think about when Carol started mentioning this topic to me was when I walk into Poppy's, I think maybe I even go there maybe when I'm a little stressed out. And when I walk into there, it gives me that sense of home. Like,
Right.
oh yeah, I recognize that smell, like my mom's there.
Right.
So that's what my scent memory is. And what is yours?
My scent memory is we used to live in Santa Cruz for many years, and we went to the beach a lot. And in the summertime, the jasmine blooms on the banks almost like a weed. So there would be the scent of jasmine and the sea and salt and that sort of grittiness of a little bit of dirt mixed in with suntan lotion. And that is a happy memory to me and something that I always think of when I think of summer times at the beach is that scent.
Mm-hmm.
And psychologists have told us that memories that we have that are associated with scent are our strongest and most powerful memories. So I think being aware of that and maybe taking a scent vacation for yourself.
You know, I wonder if scent then wouldn't be closely related to mood.
Oh, absolutely. There are whole studies that have proven that lavender, which happens to be one of my favorites, you know, that lavender can calm patients, sometimes patients that are having a lot of pain. They will have lavender in the room or an essence of it in a little atomizer. Also, there are things that they've been used in hospice, a geranium sort of a scent for patients that are in transition that is somehow calming. And what is our calming or our happy scent can be different for different people. And that is why I think that's something to explore and to take a minute and figure out what it is that you love to smell.
Very interesting. Yeah, because I guess I think about those oils are becoming so...
Very popular.
Yeah, very popular. And probably, I think there's science behind it.
Right.
I mean, we're not going to talk about that because we don't know right now, but that is something I heard yesterday, even in the office, girls were talking about for headaches and everything as well. So, very interesting. So, shall we move on to Bella Grace? Can you explain to them what this might be about?
This is a wonderful magazine, almost a book really, about taking care of yourself and nourishing your life with beautiful photography. And might be something, I bought it at Barnes & Noble, might be something you might want to explore as a little gift to yourself.
Or to a friend.
Or to a friend. It's something you would keep. It isn't a magazine that you're going to throw away in a month. And Jill's going to talk to you a little bit about a scent safari.
Yes. Which is included in this lovely book.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and I just, you know, I look at this front cover and it kind of brings you back to being that young girl, you know what I mean? Almost like whimsy and fun. So that already kind of makes me feel like, oh, it's just very inviting. I liked that about the book. So we're just going to go over just a few things with our very unique book marker. And what it's called is, it says, Take a Scent Safari. And I'm just going to say a few things you know, that they include in here, which we kind of giggled about before we even started. So it says here, starting from home, notice the smell of the grass, the sidewalk, the car exhaust, piles of newspapers, which they do have a scent. I mean, when you think about that. An old lady's perfume. I always recognize an old lady's perfume. And I don't say that disrespectfully, but you do. They have that. Okay, a wet dog, which Carol loves wet dogs. Hot bagels and caramel syrup. So this week, how many smells can you identify as you walk?
Right.
So another one, which we kind of giggled about, but is very true. It says, allow yourself to experience the smells you come across without passing judgment on them. I won't go there. Okay, so there's no good or bad smell.
Okay.
I guess. Stand in the street, close your eyes, making sure there is no traffic around. And how many layers of smell can you detect? Now that is kind of a challenge.
Right.
I don't think you have to go in the middle of the street. Just stand out in your backyard or off your porch. But anyway, and you know what? I think that's one of those scents I think I'm going to start possibly yoga. And that could be a very, just a mind
It's quieting your mind.
quieting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of becoming one, I don't know, with yourself, I don't want to get too deep, but you know what I mean? Just trying to search just how that makes you feel.
Well, and I think that's what we are talking about here. If you take a minute and not just rush to your car, but if you take a minute and walk through the leaves and feel them and smell them,
Yeah.
it's mindfulness. I think that's what the whole scent story is. It's about mindfulness. And if you cook with mindfulness, if you smell the coffee that you either make or buy in the morning, it's that moment that you take for yourself. And many people are too busy that, you know, when somebody would say you need to spend 20 minutes with yourself every day to quiet your mind and so on, a lot of people, that's impractical. But I think you could take this idea and take a moment of mindfulness and enjoy something. Today's a little gray out, but yet there's beautiful leaves and beauty in my backyard that I see that's looking a little more like fall, that are something that we can really appreciate. And that's what
It's about.
it's about. It's not necessarily about this book or a scent or whatever, but it's about mindfulness and taking a minute to enjoy your senses.
It says here, whenever you're in need of some fresh inspiration, which, you know what, most men and women, I mean, both of us, men need to take a break too. They need to walk out of their office. And
Right.
I know one of the guys I work with says sometimes he just takes a walk around the block, which is pretty sensible, actually. It says, or just want to clear your mind, take your nose out for a walk. And it says, is there a place you feel called to visit? Maybe try a simple walk around the block for 10 minutes. You know, I was just thinking about the leaves this fall, and there's a very distinct smell and picture I remember when the kids were young. You know, fall, we all bunch up the leaves.
Sure, the leaves in a pile. Yeah.
And my mother, it was a picture I took where they're on top of the leaves with all four of their little heads. I have two nieces and then my two children. And I saw it the other day at my mom's house, and it almost made me cry because it brought me back to what fall means to me. It's young kids and bags and pumpkins, you know what I mean? So anyway, so that's kind of what smell is all about to me, I guess, and scent.
So I hope you'll enjoy this autumn day and take a minute and smell the coffee or the vanilla or tarragon, whatever works in your life, and make a moment for yourself today.
Yeah, take time for yourself. It's really important. So thank you again for visiting with Friday Mornings with Carol and Jillian. And next week, you're not going to want to miss out. We've got something pretty fantastic planned. So
Great.
We'll see you then. Have a great day.